Hi, and welcome to Astrology and Earth Magic. I'm Jen, and I'm here to provide a little astrological and witchy wisdom to guide us through the fall equinox. So, with the fall equinox, we welcome autumn. Autumn equinox comes up on September 22nd, and this is actually when the sun moves into the sign of Libra. And so we start Libra season also. We also have the sabbat of Mabon, that if you celebrate the sabbats on the Wiccan wheel, this is the 7th of the sabbats on the Wiccan wheel of the year. So this one is my favorite time of the year, the fall equinox and the sabbat of Mabon. It brings all those really good fall feels. Here in New England, we have the landscape evolving with color, the leaves changing and just beginning to fall through the ground. It's like it's snowing color with, vibrant reds, yellows, oranges, just all those beautiful colors like painted as they fall to the sky, from the sky. The autumn equinox again is when fall begins, and it's also when we have equal amounts of daylight and darkness. So we have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So the actual day of the fall equinox, so on September 22nd, when the sun moves into the sign of Libra, that is starting that cardinal sign. It's starting that new season. And that's what the cardinal signs, they all start a new season. Libra season starts the fall season. So we see this with Libra represented by the scales. And the scales are that equality. So because with Libra, it's all about balance, it's all about fairness. And then with each following day, the sun begins to kind of lose and the night begins to win out. So we kind of start getting that little imbalance. The days grow a little bit shorter and the night grows a little bit longer day by day. And you barely see it happening because it's only like minute to minute. But then about a month from now, we're like getting home from work and it's dark. And it's like, what the heck is happening? Like, it shouldn't be dark. It's only 4 o'clock. But see, it's with these cold, and then the sun is not out so much. The days grow colder. And we start just kind of cuddling up. And that's why I just love this season. You really start with those, pumpkin spice everything, lattes that keep you warm. So you kind of, leave those pumpkin beers behind and go more with the pumpkin lattes because they keep you a little bit more warmed up, or maybe a little hot toddies depending on what you're looking for. But also start Libra season. Of course, this is my favorite season. Why? Because I am a Libra and I am right at the cusp of it. And so I am pure Libra through and through. I am on the 26th. So, pretty much 4 days after the equinox. Libra season is a time of finding balance and finding harmony with all the aspects of your life. So finding the balance between work and home life and not having one take over the other, finding balance in, just how you put yourself out there in the world, just being equal to everyone. The sign of Libra is, again, the scales. So we know that's fairness, that's justice. We see that in courts where you see the justice holding the scales. It's one reason too, though, why Libras can be so charming, because they see both sides and they can relate to both sides, because they have that ability to be fair and be accepting, and so to try and keep things even. Everybody wants to keep things a little bit balanced. They don't like fighting. They like things to be harmonious. So they make great mediators. So, if you're looking for a mediator, if you find a Libra, they're going to be great. So even a human resource department, which I've been pretty much most of my working life, because I was always that mediator between the employee and the superior. And I could see both sides, and all the employees always loved me, but the bosses always loved me too, because I would be able to explain things to them that they couldn't see maybe another way, and I could explain then their reasoning to the employees so that they could understand a little bit better. So you're able to rationalize these issues and find a fair solution for both parties that are involved. Now, this is not just for people that are Libra. This is in, anybody's chart, because you do have all the signs in your chart. You just have to see what house it falls in. So, if it is in your work house, like in your 10th house, then it is going to be in your career that you find this balance. So it's finding that balance between your work and home life. And the same thing if it's in your 4th house, it's finding that balance between work and home. So maybe you're putting too much into work, or maybe you're working from home and that balance is, maybe a little bit upset. So maybe that's where you have to find a little bit of that balance. But, seeing it and understanding both sides really brings harmony. And I think with everything that's going on in the world now, everything's so out of balance. Like, we have things here and here, and it's just everything is so skewed. And this is a time, whether you're Libra or not, you can find balance somehow, and you can really just take the time to meditate and kind of remove yourself from all the imbalances that are going on in the world right now that might make you just not feel right. So if you are just feeling like it's all being too much for you and you need to kind of run away, do it. You have to get away, because you have to find that inner peace, that inner harmony, that inner balance. And again, at this time, if you follow the Wiccan or the pagan sabbats, we celebrate Mabon. So Mabon, so definitely get outside, because this is all about really just being outside for the last time and appreciating everything that the earth has to offer. It is the last quarter phase. If you liken the sabbats to the phases of the moon, it's the last quarter. So it is a release, and it is a letting go, a shedding away. So it's getting rid of those negativity, again, getting rid of those imbalances that might be holding us back a little bit, and enabling us to find that inner peace and forgiveness, which in this world today can be really hard, especially as of late with the things that's been going on, and it's just pitting one side against the other. You have to find that mediator inside of you to be able to maybe understand the other side a little bit, or maybe be able to speak to them so that they understand your side a little bit. But enabling a way to find inner peace is really crucial at this time, because you don't want to let your mind go too far and just let yourself go too far where your emotions just, there's no bringing them back. But just like the leaves falling from the tree this time of year, you just let those burdens fall away, your regrets, your pain, any other negative energy that you're holding on to, just let it fall away like leaves. Mabon is also known as the second harvest, because our first harvest was with Lamas, and now we have Mabon is the second harvest, where we're really doing the last of the gathering of what's left of our crops. The crops are yielding the last of their bounty, beginning to die away. I know my garden is looking a little bit sad, but it still has some tomatoes that are trying to get through, but it's getting ready to go dormant for the winter. The last quarter phase also represents an impending death and a preparation. So if you think of that in the form of what happens this time of year, it's a preparation for a type of death. So maybe it's a preparation for hibernation. So that type of death, like that sleep that animals do throughout the winter so that they can then emerge reborn, but you have to prepare for it. You have to, prepare for the upcoming season. It could be a figurative death that is in a way that the sun is dying away and the darkness starts to win out. It could also be the death of an idea, a bad habit perhaps, a friendship maybe that just isn't working out, a job, again, that isn't working out, or a lifestyle that just doesn't seem right and that just isn't fitting well, or anything else that you're releasing and letting go of. Maybe if you obsessively are watching the news lately and you're seeing all this negativity that's happening, maybe it's time that you release that a little bit and try and get out in nature, maybe go for a walk and, just listen to the sounds of the woods. If you have a woods close by, listen to the sounds of the outside, the wind blowing through the trees. I don't know if you can hear it behind me now, but it's so peaceful. And I love to listen to that when I'm just laying in bed in the morning before I get up. And it's just, you hear the birds starting to wake up, you hear the wind blowing through the trees, you hear acorns falling this time of year, and it just gives you that peace and that tranquility that you need this time of year. In some pagan traditions, the US here, also we begin hunting season this time of year. Well, I know in New England that this is when it starts ramping up. So, of course, if you are going for a wander in the woods, be safe. I always put Chili's, her little reflective orange harness on so that she doesn't get mistaken for a deer. But they don't let you go hunting around here on Sundays. So I think that's kind of the norm. I'm not really sure. But that's when Chili and I go out on our hikes, and you can really just go out and spend hours outside just, seeing everything changing. And pagans with hunting season, they also honored the stag, which is, with its dignified magnificence. It's just beautiful the way it stands there with its grand antlers. Grateful for everything that it provides for them. Meat, if you use its hide for anything. The stag is also a symbol for Mabon as well. This is the last sabbat before, I don't know if you can hear my cat going crazy in the background. This is the last sabbat before Samhain, where Samhain, and what's happening now too, is that veil between the living and the dead becomes very thin. And it's when our connection with death, with Samhain, it's the last before we rebirth with Yule. So this is the second to the last sabbat. The last sabbat is Samhain, and then we are reborn again kind of with Yule, where everything kind of starts back up. So also during this time, because that veil is so thin between the living and the dead, communication with those who have passed before us is pretty much the easiest time of year to communicate with dead relatives. Maybe if you just kind of let your mind be open and kind of hear any of the messages they might be giving you, now is the time that you want to start kind of opening your mind up a little bit. If you want to hear what they have to say, and just know, are they doing okay? Are they feeling good? And maybe you'll just get that kind of warm and fuzzy if they're doing well. Hopefully that's the feeling that you'll get anyway. So that waking world between, the waking world and the afterlife is really at its thinnest then when we get to Samhain. But so anyway, let's get outside and do a little Mabon preparation and a little decorating for the fall equinox and now the fall season. Chili and I like to go into the woods and look for seasonal and interesting symbolic natural elements to bring inside to decorate for the autumn season and for Mabon. As we walk in the quiet of the woods, they are live with their own sounds. You hear the birds singing, you hear acorns falling around us like footsteps as they fall to the crunchy leaves below. And a little crackling of leaves behind us could mean that our cat Pickle is following as well. I collect some acorns, but I leave most for the animals to gather and store for the long winter ahead. Just like we do with the last of the harvest, canning and freezing in order to make the abundance of our gardens and our harvest last throughout the winter months. Acorns represent hard work, strength, and perseverance that the mighty oak possesses. So if you have your favorite oak, feel free to leave maybe a little offering of seeds, fruits, and berries at the base of your favorite oak as a gift for the Oak King, who is now handing over his crown to the Holly King for the upcoming winter season. I love to collect little pine sprigs like this, pine cones if you have them around, interesting leaf bunches, and I found here some partridge berry, which I think will go perfect inside and add a little bit of color. He's on the prowl. You do want to be careful if you like to decorate with natural mushrooms or picking any kind of mushrooms, that you know what's poisonous or not. There's tons around here. We're just going to leave them alone, but I do like to bring some home at times and just kind of check and see, are they edible or not? So make sure what you bring home is safe to have around, especially if you have pets like mine and little kids, anything like that. Another fun way to really bring that Libra balance into your Mabon or Equinox decor is to balance stones. So look around for stones with like flattish sides, ones that really stand out to you. So this one that I'm sitting next to is actually one of my favorites. So it's a quartz that's on top of this stump. Now that's been there since we moved into our house. And before that, you know, this is out kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how much the older people that used to live in my house kind of ventured around in this woods. It's pretty deep in. So it's just, it brings whenever I walk by, it brings a lot of clarity and it amplifies the energy around. And I think, you know, I think it'll just be bad luck if I move it. So I always keep it here, and every time I pass it, I feel a little bit better inside. So stone balancing is something I do almost obsessively. You know, living on the side of the mountain like we do, we have more than enough stones to pick from. My kids, they actually liken my little Zen gardens, as I call them, to a Blair Witch Project witch piles. I call them my Zen gardens because you have to find Zen and balance within you to be able to really have a steady hand enough to pile on. Now, I try to keep mine at 7 high, like the 7 chakras. And so here's a few examples of my stone piles. So here's some examples of the rock piles around my yard. You can see I do them pretty much everywhere, and they're all ones that I found when digging out plants. To try and plant anywhere here is really difficult, so might as well bring some Zen after the strain of trying to plant something and all these rocks pull out. So all these rocks pulled out when I planted this jasmine. All those rocks there pulled out when I planted this St. John's. Here's a little fairy garden that I created for my granddaughter. Again, we have more rock piles. And this is next to pretty much the biggest, most beautiful rock right outside of our home. Now, any of you who consistently watch my channel know about my 2 cats that I lost together in just a horrible incident. So here's where they are, right here in my front yard. I made a nice little area for them and the little dog that we lost a few years ago as well. He went naturally. He was 17 years old. But we have rock piles on them as well, just to give them a little bit of peace that they need now that they're on the other side. So he has some peace. And over here, I have the 2 rock piles representing Carrot and Nils. Now Nils, she was a very angry Siamese, and it's so funny because her pile is always falling no matter what I do, no matter how good I stack it, it always seems to fall because I don't think she'll ever be settled. Oh, Pix, that was just not very nice, but love these guys and I miss them so much. And Nil, someday you're gonna find some peace. Now that we're back inside, we can decorate with everything that we found in the woods and just make a beautiful tablescape for everybody to enjoy. Now I have a lot here. I will pick through it, but just to show some examples, baskets are great and other agricultural collecting things, even if you have like a scythe or sickles, but you want to use these very carefully, especially if you have children or pets like I do. But definitely baskets everywhere. I even have them on my back wall hanging, just all sorts of just things for just carrying that abundance of what you produced all summer long, pretty much. Also, we have our balancing stones that we brought in, just representing that balance. We have nuts, we have some sliced up oranges that we've dried throughout the season, now that kind of they're getting out. And this actually, little fun fact for you, if you have cats, they actually don't like the smell of citrus. So if you like to have lots of stuff around like this, then you might want to add a little dried citrus to it so that your cats won't destroy it. So, and of course, don't forget the pumpkin beer, pumpkin cookies, and a little pumpkin spice candle to really create that beautiful aroma and ambiance, just to really make you feel cozy throughout this upcoming fall season. Now, I am loving the way my table looks. It just looks so natural. And here's a fun thing for you. Chili actually found this antler in the woods. Now, it's pretty eaten by mice, probably, little rodents that are looking for something, because it is edible for animals like that. So we're going to use this to grace the table right now since they have lots of food to eat, but in the winter we're going to put it back outside for them so that they can have something. So decorate however you like, however makes you feel good. And this is really making me feel good. Here's one more fun fact for you. If you put acorns in your windowsills, it helps protect from bad storms of the upcoming season. So this is hurricane season, and it just will help a little bit from lightning coming in or anything like that. Never know, anything can help. Candles, we can never get enough of them. Here I have just a display with all different candlesticks, lots of fun. We have our deer antler in the center. We have a little bit of leaves brought in from outside. Now these are beeswax candles. I'm using these for fall. As we get closer to Samhain, I'm probably gonna switch them out with these black candles. And as we get closer to Christmas, we probably will put, and you will put these red candles. So it's fun to just be able to change things out and make things just look great for all the different seasons, for all the different sabbats that we have coming up. So I hope that you all have a great autumn season, a great Libra season. Find some balance and just do you and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself inside and outside and find that equilibrium. Let me know in the comments what your favorite tradition is. What do you like to do in the fall? What's your favorite thing about fall? Do you have the changing leaves where you are? Maybe do you take a quest to go see them? Definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you love to do. Love reading your comments. Also hit the like and subscribe button. We are going on a journey and we want you to come with us. So stay tuned, guys. Hit that notification bell. Lots of fun coming up. See you soon. Bye.